What's going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back. Today is it's gonna be exciting. We've got the War Scourge coming up here with Red Hulk, and of course, we're gonna talk about basically notes 5 and 10, and kind of what to expect from the data mines, and of course as well go over a couple of other things such as the team power you're gonna need for basically getting them unlocked, and then taking a look at my current roster as well in this, and hopefully gives you guys an idea. But very much looking forward to it. I think everyone's been anticipating this for a while now, and it's nice to know that we'll finally be able to get to play with it today. So again, just to recap here, he's going to be the third horseman. His event starts today, and again, you can unlock a 3-star Red Hulk during the milestones if you get 500,000 points. If you fail to get that 500,000 and get him unlocked immediately, that's not the end of the world. You can always run it on the lower difficulties, specifically difficulties 4 and lower, and as long as you have some Scourges racked up, you should be able to get them unlocked as well. Having said that, we're not really 100% sure yet on how these new Scourges are going to be able to impact the points, so the only way to know that for sure is once we actually go into it and play it. So we won't know that until pretty much until it's launched, so we'll see how that goes. Again, the 5 and 10 nodes will be the limiting factors, and those are going to require the Hero Asgardians, Ravagers, and Wave 1 Avengers. And we'll take a look at some of the pros and cons of that later on. For Node 5, again, just keep in mind, because Nodes 5 and 10 are the limiting factors, again, big shout out to the data miners. They've always done such a fantastic job of being able to kind of take a sneak peek for us. And as you guys can see here, specifically for Node 5, I think probably the biggest concern there is going to be that Omega Red, and then of course Doctor Strange and Wong and Silver Samurai. I feel like those are all fairly dangerous characters. So again, having a lot of control on those on that particular node is going to be key. Some mentions, and I think I do have to bring it up, is the fact that the Asgardians are a bit of a slower team. So it might be worth slotting in Black Widow in there to kind of get a speed up, as well as the fact that she does have a stun that she can utilize as well. Hawkeye would also be a good one because he can also land the blinds on some of these nasty characters and also bring the speed down and reduce their speed. So it'll be interesting to see what type of hybrid teams people come up with. But as long as I think we can take out Omega Red and perhaps Doctor Strange before the next wave drops, then I think we'll probably be in good shape. Node 10, the biggest issue here is the fact that they are trying to throw the new Bionic Avengers at us, and as you can see here in the first wave, we actually have two out of the, or two. Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's a power armor mixed, but there's potentially 3 there, and then of course you get Deathlock and Vision dropping in the second wave as well, and then another Hulkbuster at the third wave. So potentially they could all be on the board, and that would just be chaotic for us. Combine that with Rescue and Ironheart, that's also makes for a deadly combination. Rescue would give Barrier, Cleanse, and then of course Ironheart would also apply the speed reduction and defense down. So all in all, it would be a fairly nasty team. And then of course as well the second wave dropping with Jubilee and Bishop, 2 very annoying characters, especially if they start getting kills and they start racking up deaths. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, but I think for this one specifically as well, utilizing a team that is faster, applying stuns, applying blinds will be crucial. Vision can also apply the blinds to our characters, so this might be one where Heimdall is required because he can resist those blinds. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of combinations people come up with, but I think right now what's good to mention is the fact that you probably want a faster team to kind of get some stuns on, or to get some blinds across the board to kind of avoid some of these nasties. Having said that as well, if you have 2 strong teams, like if you have 1 strong team to throw in as a sack, that would also work as well, and then maybe the cleanup crew would be able to kind of take care of the rest. So definitely some strategies there worth exploring, and unfortunately right now we won't have anything concrete until it's launched, but that's kind of my approach. I'm probably going to mess around with the sack wave first and see if that helps, and if not, then we can try some hybrid teams, and I'll try my best to kind of experiment that for you guys. Team power, this is one people are always kind of wondering about. How big should my teams be? Based on the previous 2 Scourges, and I was actually able to rack up pretty high on the charts. I was able to get a 6 yellow on both Rogue and Morgan, so I was pretty happy about that. But essentially in the green is the numbers that I did kind of confirm from my previous videos, and basically what I was able to kind of do it with mostly without too much RNG. I think the Morgan Le Fay one, because the Web Warriors are very dependent on the RNG and the fact that they need to dodge, it is definitely more RNG based. But since they buffed up Mordu and added him as a Dark Hunter as well, that actually helped a lot in the previous Morgan Le Fay rerun, so that was really nice. Rogue was quite a bit easier because it's less RNG. We have Captain Marvel and Squirrel Girl really quarterbacking the team and throwing all these heals and assists, and really I found that it was generally an easier Scourge. So we're not sure about the Red Hulk one yet because it hasn't launched, but generally speaking, those are the numbers of my teams that we're able to kind of crush 7. For the Rogue Scourge, I was able to do difficulty 9 for a few of the nodes, but I wasn't able to completely do the entire run of it. So that was with a very large team as well. I had brought up my Young Avengers to the point where all of them were pretty much tier 16. So that's going to be, I don't think anybody's going to have resources like that. I was kind of hoarding like crazy. Having said that, I was able to find other content creators on the lower difficulties, and I'd seen some individuals and they just absolutely destroyed those difficulties. The numbers could be lower. Those are just the ones that I found because my teams weren't as low, so I never did the lower difficulties with less than 600k. I think both runs I started at least 700,000 on both my teams, so just keep that in mind. But if you're looking to do difficulty 4 and below, I'm probably guessing you need at least a 300-ish team. And then of course, if you're doing difficulties 5 and 6 and you want to do it with ease, probably aim for that 400 to 500 mark, or even 600. We won't know for sure right now with Red Hulk, but once it's launched, I'm sure there's going to be some theory crafters that are going to be trying different levels of teams, and there's always somebody that seems to be able to do it at a lower power level than you think. And yeah, I'd seen some fairly skilled combatants really working their magic, and these were the lowest numbers that I could find, and perhaps there might be lower ones out there, but those were the ones that I found. So we'll see how it goes. Right now with my team, we're kind of situated, again, fairly similar to what we usually start out as, usually around that 700 mark. Again, I'm thinking probably sticking Black Widow in place of probably most likely Sif or Heimdall, and then throwing my Hulk in there as well because he is 6 red, and I've actually been able to save a couple of resources and T4s as well, so I'll probably bump him up before I start the run of it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm guessing my run is probably going to be somewhere in the 7-ish mark with a 700k team. So difficulty 5 I'll probably start with and just kind of see if the team works, and then of course I'll slowly rack up and go into difficulty 6 and higher. That's usually what I do to kind of get a sense of the waves, and it helps me as well gauging which nodes are going to be good, because 3 and 4 are going to be good ones, especially for your Avengers. Those ones will allow for you to use certain characters like Hawkeye and Black Widow and kind of get their abilities up. So keep that in mind. The nodes 3 and 4 are for all Avengers, and it's nice that our Wave 1 Avengers are grouped into that category, so you can start building up their charges or their abilities before you go into nodes 5, which people have done previously as well in the last 2 Scourges, in the Rogue Scourge and in the Morgan Le Fay one. So let's talk about Asgardians. So they're a bit of a slower team. They've got the stun from Valkyrie if you've leveled her up and T4'd her. Same with the blind from Lady Thor as well. So definitely nice to have a little bit of control there. Lots of characters that can AoE, which is great. So they can crit and they do lots of damage, and their health is pretty respectful with the regeneration as well. But I still found that running these characters in the Morgan Le Fay Scourge, because I was just trying it out, fairly slow team. And with Thor, he does proc quite a bit, and if he's able to land his stuns, it's going to be RNG based, but it's a fairly good team, and I do have a pretty good feeling about the team, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm just not 100% sure if it will be a full Asgardians team or if we're going to throw in some elements of speed with Black Widow, as well as the fact that she'll also allow us to have an additional stun on the board as well. So we'll see how that goes with the hybrid teams. Wave 1 Avengers, again, faster team overall. We've got Hawkeye and Black Widow kind of controlling the board, lower speed reduction, buff removal, blinds. We've got 2 taunters with Captain America, and we've got Hulk in there as well. And depending on the size of your Wave 1 Avengers, they should be able to actually do a pretty good solid attack attempt as well. Like I said already, I'm not 100% sure if one of them will be my A team or my B team yet, depending on those the wave, the waves and the node 5s and 10s and how they respond. But overall, this is the faster team. They've got a little bit less damage, but the double taunts is actually very key, and they've got energy and the speed increase from being able to get attacked as well. Keep in mind, Thor is a double dipper, and he is able to be inputted into both the Wave 1 and the Asgardians. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in this, but definitely for sure he's a plug-and-play character for these two teams, and it'll be interesting, like I said, to see what the Theory Crafters come up with. I am for sure going to be doing some probably some mixing and matching and trying out the different combinations as well. Ravagers is the last one, and of course lots of buffs. I think this team overall is definitely, if you have them leveled up, and if you were able to kind of bump them up when they first came out with their buff, it's great to reinvest in them. Lots of people had T'Challa leveled up for the Cosmic nodes for Dark Dimension 5. They also had him leveled up because of the Tech nodes before the launch of the Bionic Avengers. He was fairly decent as well. Yondu's very good with his minions, damage mitigation, he can steal the buffs. The death proof and the heals from Stitcher are amazing as well, and the fact that they are minions, they lack that ultimate, so it means they can basically, they have shorter cooldowns, and of course in the last Scourges when there was ultimates, they would get blinded, but of course in this case if they don't have ultimates, they wouldn't get that added negative anymore. So anyways, it is a very solid team. Unfortunately, my Ravagers aren't even over. Some of them are still level 1, so don't really have them leveled up, but we'll see how it goes. Just keep in mind, the Scourge isn't ending in a day. It's going to be in the span of 2 weeks, so take your time with it. And I think that's kind of where it brings us to the last slide. Take your time with it, pace yourself, don't go crazy. Don't think you have to get into the last node the first day it launches. Usually I think people overplay it, and then of course they get sick of it and they don't want to play anymore. Just take your time with it. Be flexible. Don't be stuck with a certain rigid framework and you think, hey, I saw this guy do it on YouTube, I'm going to keep trying this team and see if it works. Be flexible. Change up your lineup. Your player characters aren't going to be the exact same as somebody else's. I don't think anybody is, unless you have 7 red, 7 yellow, totally maxed out. Then maybe there's a chance that they're probably the same. But even then, there's always some variance because some people will have certain gear pieces leveled up, or they've got certain ISO 8 differentials, etc., right? So take it nice and slow and steady. Research, watch the other content creators. Dorky Dad's awesome. I love watching him. He always seems to have a really in-depth guide. Do your research online. Don't stick with just what one person uses. Take a look at other content creators. Take a look at other people. Ask around your alliance. Do that research. Kind of really look around. See what other people are doing. Ask around. Research. I used all unconventional teams. Like, not everyone's gonna have the same teams as people plastered on their videos and whatever. You can always kind of mix and match, and I think that's why I love this game. I think in the last Scourge, there was quite a bit of different approaches to those mutant nodes, and lots of people were throwing in Uncanny X-Men, Axemen, different combinations, and yeah, find one that works. I stuck with a variation of I think it was Emma Frost, Omega Red, and then of course Rogue, and some other weird thing I did there. But anyways, yeah, there's always going to be some plug and play there. So anyways, guys, remember, like I said, pace yourself, be flexible, take it nice and slow and steady, and then of course do your research as well from your side. But overall, I think the most important thing is have fun. Scourge is exciting, and I think definitely you can get burnt out from it, but have fun, pace yourself, and really just enjoy the fact that it's new content. We get a new character, and of course a third war character, third horseman character, and it's good. It means we're one step closer to Apocalypse as well. And I think the most important thing is the game has been getting a lot of negativity, but we have to stay positive, and we have to kind of keep pushing ourselves and enjoy the game to the best of our abilities, right? So anyways, that's a big rant there. Thank you for watching, and good luck with the current Scourge. We will catch you guys probably later on today when I get some more footage up when it's actually launched. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.